I did all the stuff, like I posted this stream all around, and the streams always decides to pick like or say that it's going to be scheduled at some time, and I purposely check to make sure it's not being scheduled, but it always says it's scheduled for something, and I have choice between go live or done. And this time I just was like done. I guess I'm done, so I pushed done, and it's scheduled for like 12 hours from now, and I'm like, what the what? So I had to redo it, and so I don't know if there's a lot, a link to this live, but whatever. I mean, whatever, you know. So exactly, whatever. Any case, today's stream, I added music. Don't know if you can hear it, but I wanted to talk about breath and sleep. Today's a later day. Look at the sun, it's like practically gone. It's like overcast. Let me get my yoga mat. Like anybody who clicks on that link that I sent out will probably will say, oh, the link is now gone or whatever. I gotta do what I gotta do. So I'm doing this, and it's for me. So it doesn't matter if anybody watches. So breath. I was watching some videos about breath work, and we all need to breathe, and they always talk about focusing on your breath and all of that stuff, and they talk about when you're anxious, you have anxiety, or you're nervous, can't sleep, focus on your breathing, do this, do that, breathing. So I thought I'd try this breathing technique, which is to over exaggerate an inhale. So you might only do like a couple of these, otherwise you probably will pass out. But you over exaggerate inhale, and then you let it out through your mouth. So in through your nose. Well, actually, is it in through your nose for this particular exercise? Yeah, let's just say in through your nose, and then out, but then you just let it out without pushing it out. And then you do that like maybe initially 5 times, and then on the last one, on the exhale, you just leave it out and you hold your breath until you can't hold it anymore, and then you do a deep exaggerated inhale again, and then you hold that until you can't hold it anymore, and you let out, and then you repeat. I don't know if I'm gonna try holding until I can't hold anymore. I'm just gonna try this and see how it goes. Hello. So I'm gonna try that for a breathing exercise, and then in regards to sleep, there's a lot that's said about sleeping patterns and what you should and shouldn't do, and I try to listen to my body, but I think I've been listening to some things, and I'm gonna try maybe to follow more of a routine. Maybe like 10:30, 11. 10:30 is a little early for me. It's kind of hard to get there, but maybe 11:30. Try to get in bed by then. And then the thing I was watching, they also had tips for like how to make it into a routine that's good for you, and like keep it dark, don't be on your phone, all the common sense type of stuff. Don't eat 2 hours before, stuff like that. And they recommend some like breathing techniques too, or I don't know, but I think it would be nice to have some kind of sleep schedule. It would be great to be able to wake up in the morning and be like, oh, it's nice and early, I feel great. I mean, sometimes I don't get enough sleep and I wake up and I feel great. So it's really kind of tricky, I feel like. Maybe it's different for each person. But I feel like typically people say try to have a regular sleep schedule, and that way your body regulates and is used to it, and so you build up a habit that ends up being really good for you, that works out for you because you end up waking up at a reasonable time and you feel good. And when you're supposed to go to bed, you feel tired and you can fall asleep more naturally and easier and have better sleep. But you know, that's another thing too. You could go to bed at the time that you want and then not have good sleep. You know, so there's other things to consider with that. You know, it could be a breathing thing. It could be, I don't know, listen to something meditative. Oh, someone suggested a contrast shower. So you know how when you try to go to bed and you're just mentally not ready to go to bed, you maybe you'll read first or you'll do something else before bed. An idea is a contrast shower, which is to jump in a shower, really, I guess, warm or hot, and then really, really cold. Maybe like 30 seconds for each or something like that, which kind of resets your state of mind, I guess, through the shock of it. It's kind of like what you would do with a cold shower in the morning or something to just kind of wake up as well. But in this case, it's just to kind of like cleanse and refresh your state of mind so that you're ready for sleep. I guess that also adds to a habit, to a practice, right? If you did that every night. That's interesting. Maybe I'll try that. Yeah. So that's all I had to really say about sleep. If you have any suggestions or any practices you use. But otherwise, I'm going to try this breathing exercise real quick. It might look kind of silly because it asks to kind of do a really exaggerated inhale with good posture through your nose first. Two more. I definitely feel like if I keep doing this, I'm gonna pass out. But on the fifth one, you hold. I don't feel like I actually took a breath in. That was weird. I don't know. I felt like I could have held it longer. I don't know. But then you're supposed to take a deep breath and hold that. And I kind of failed because it was really weird. I kind of like went. I figure I at least do a minute. So that's supposed to be a breath work exercise. I don't know. I mean, I guess that would really help me with being able to hold my breath. I'm not so sure about doing that multiple times. Maybe I'll try to work up to that. I only did it once. I did 5 inhale, exhales, really huge, exaggerated ones. Inhales and then exhale 5 times, and then I held my breath on the exhale for over a minute, and then I took an inhale, but it was really weird. It was like a small little gasp, and I ended up stopping and then taking a breath again and holding that. But you're supposed to just exhale, and then when you inhale again, exaggerated, you hold that for as long as you can. And I don't know how many times you're supposed to do that, but I think I'll try that another time. But that's something, if you've heard of, let me know how that works. But I don't know. I'm going to try it every morning, I guess, maybe. Yeah, it's very yoga-esque. I'm actually going to do some Tai Chi, but first I'm going to start off with some warm-up. I actually used some music, and I don't know if you can hear it. It's non-copyright. But it's also raining, so you get to hear rainy sounds. Yes, yoga in the rain, right? I know. So it's actually, I'm going to do some Tai Chi, and there's lots of similarities to me when I do Tai Chi and to yoga, because in many senses you're taking poses, but you're putting motion to them. So the poses are like yoga, and then the motion is the Tai Chi, and you can combine the both. There's breathing, you know, there's all of that type of work as well. But I'm going to start off with a little warm-up, which is basically just going to go from my toes, I mean up to my head. I'm just going to work on my different joints. First with my ankle and wrists. Typically do about like 12. And then I switch. It's kind of nice with the rain. It's nice and cool. Normally it's super, super hot. So this is kind of a nice change. And then I work on my knees. Loosen those up a little bit. Do 12 on each side. So you open, close. Finding myself like trying to follow the music, which is interesting. So if any of you know Tai Chi, I'm going to be doing the the Tai Chi 8-form Yang style. Oh, cool. Appreciate it. I do this pretty much every day. Not always at the same time. I try to do it around 10:30. Sometimes it's 11:30, but obviously today is much, much later. So then next I'm going to work on my hips. I find that my hips can get very tight, and prior to my practice they were super tight, and they would just be sore to the touch like this. And so since I've started this every day, it's gone away. And you know, like every time I get out of bed, all my joints are cracking and everything. And so now that I do this every day, that no longer is the case, which is great. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting old. But really, I'm just out of shape. It's so important to stretch. I'm learning that as I get older. Stretching is such an important thing you should do for yourself as you get older. Okay. I feel you. Especially on a rainy day like this, it's hard to get up. I mean, that's why I started so late, I guess. spent some time in bed just thinking. Actually, I was watching some stuff about breathing and sleep, which is why we had that topic today, about breathing and sleep. Right now I'm just warming up my joints to get ready for my practice. Shoulders. Feeling like I'm in a dance class now. Alright, so I also do some other warm-up stuff, mainly in my legs because I'm trying to build up my practice and try to be a little bit lower and grounded and stronger. So it's mostly legs, and this is gonna remind you a little bit of yoga in a sense because I'm just doing lunges and squats and stuff like that for this type of warm-up. Thank you, I appreciate that. Alright, so I'm going to start with a lunge. And really I'm just really working on stretching and building up my leg strength to be able to be lower in my practice. And also posture. That's one thing I have to work on. Try to be straighter. So typically in a lot of these poses, I don't hold them for very long. I'm not really doing yoga, and I'm not going to take all the time I probably normally would if I was actually trying to wear myself out, I guess. I also don't want to wear myself out too much because A, I am still out of shape, and B, when I go to practice my Tai Chi, I don't want to be affecting my practice in that sense, because sometimes if I overdo it, then my legs become really, really weak and wobbly, and I have a hard time doing it in the manner I desire. So really this is part of a warm-up and not so much a workout. But I do hold it for like maybe 20 to 30 seconds. I like doing this with my arms because it helps me to remind me to stay upright with my posture. Okay, now I'm going to do a horse stance. I'm already feeling it in my legs. I'm shaking. Whew. You know, as little as I do, believe it or not, I end up feeling it the more I do every single day. I feel my legs are getting much stronger, even though I'm not kicking my ass doing it, I guess, you know, doing the squats and all that stuff. But in the practice of doing this and then the Tai Chi, I definitely feel it the next day. Now I'm going to do some stretches. Actually, there's some other leg stuff that I like to do on the floor, so I'll do that now. Just working on my hips and stuff, and my glutes. again, I'm really just doing very minimal, doing like 20, maybe 30. Really more like a warm up than anything. Doing the other side for my hip. All right. Oh, my knee actually feels pretty good. Wow, that doesn't hurt at all. So I've been having troubles with my right knee, and I haven't been pushing through it, but I have been, doing these exercises or stretching. And is it working? Because at first it worked, and then I felt like I was injuring it again. But today it feels really good. Like, very good. Alright, so stretching. I normally hold this for 20 and 30. Try to keep my posture. Yay, rain. Other side. I try to pull on my leg a little bit to increase the stretch. Another stretch that I do, both balance and keeping the knees soft for Tai Chi practice. And I try to stretch down without pulling my head and upper body down, but going from my waist and getting lower from there. Sometimes it helps me to do this. I always had a hard time putting my arms behind my ears, and so that's something I'm also working on by hanging on a bar in my door frame. But I normally do this for 10 to 30 seconds as well, and I try to deepen the stretch as I go. Eventually maybe in pulling down on my leg a little bit. Definitely sweating. Whew. I do like rice. Forgot to wear my headband today. Okay, so I'm going to begin my practice. Typically, I do the Tai Chi Yang style 8 form, 2 facing this direction and 2 facing another direction. But I'm probably going to do it this way so you can still see me from the front. Since this is not a class, you don't necessarily have to follow me by facing this direction. And hopefully, if you know the Tai Chi 8 form Yang style, you can also do it with me. Just know that the space is limited here, so I am adjusting to my space. So it's not gonna be entirely correct. Start here. Okay. Posture. Speaking of breathing, in the practice you generally want to be breathing in and out with the movement. There is a right and wrong to it, but I'm not teaching it, but if you are practicing, don't forget to breathe. I guess it's like calisthenics in a way. I mean, it's Tai Chi, but there are some similarities to yoga, and I guess calisthenics can fit into it as well, depending on what you focus on when you're practicing, for sure. All right, let's do facing the front. Actually gonna move this direction a little more. Adjusting for space. Pretty bad transition. Adjusting for space again. Sweating. All right, number 3. sip. All right, now we're gonna cool down, shake it off. Start with an inhale, in through the nose, out with the mouth, from the diaphragm. Soft knees. probably gonna adopt that breathing exercise I did earlier. 4 more, but this time at the top we're gonna push up. Some more. Stay in the center here. Inhale. Now hold the ball, center here. You're just manipulating the energy between your hands. See if you can feel that. It's like pushing your hands to water a little bit. You feel it on both sides going in and out. Can you feel that? You should be able to feel that through your hands, going down your body. Remove any negative energies. Out into the universe. So in Qigong Tai Chi practice, we only did Tai Chi today, but in the practice, it is said that there's lots of nutrients that have now gathered or are now in your saliva. Oh my God, I'm like raining. So you're gonna wanna swallow your saliva 3 times, each time visualizing and following it down to the center of your body, which is 1.5 inches below your belly button, which is also called the dantian. And you're going to do that 3 times at your own pace. Another part of the practice is to put the center of each palm over the dantian, with the left and then right over left for men, and then right and left over right for women. Now this practice is old. I don't know its exact origins or the meaning, but it's something I'm still learning. But I was told that it had to do with meridian lines, so it might have to do with that. In either case, take it or leave it. It is what it is. So do or don't. Close your eyes, and when you're done, just put your hands off to your side at your own time. I typically like to end. I am here. Whew. I typically like to do a little traditional salute here, which stands for heaven and earth coming together. I also like to adopt the idea that this is heart, love, friendship, and peace coming together, respect.